So example 3 says determine the maximum product of two integers whose sum is 25. Okay. So we have two integers. Let x and y be the two integers. Okay, we need to translate this into an equation. Now it's given that x plus y is equal to 25. This is given. But what I want, what they want is, what is the maximum product? So how do you represent product, given that we have x and y as two integers? xy, right? xy. Okay, that's the product. Let's call that p. Okay, p is equal to xy. Okay. Now right now we created a relationship between a p and an x and a y. In the quadratic equations, usually it's a relationship between two, right? Two variables, like x and a y, right? This has 3 right now. Is it possible to get rid of one of the variables here?
Y.
Yes. We can use this given condition, and from there we can come up with a relationship between y and x. Okay, and y is 25 minus x.
So look, you press the button on your lap.
Okay, now using that, now we can say the product is x times 25 minus x. Do you recognize that this is a quadratic relationship between x and p? Quad relationship between x and p. That means we can solve it like a quadratic equation. Now we're looking for maximum p. Okay, our maximum p. If you were to graph this, it's already in a factor form. The x-intercepts are what, Sarah? 0 and 25. So the parabola must look like this. So the highest product is somewhere here. That means when x is right in the middle of 0 and 25, it'll be the highest value of product, right? Okay, so we get 12.5 for that. But is our x allowed to be 12.5? It says x has to be an integer, so it's not allowed. Okay, so that means now I still want the product to be as high as possible, right? So I can pick, what's the closest number to 12.5? Right, and the further I go away from 12.5, do you see that I'm gonna go lower on the y value, which means lower on, it's a lower product. So the best number I can pick is 13 or 12. Does that make sense? They give you the exact same height and it's slightly lower than the highest product. Okay, so therefore x can be either 12 or 13. If x is 12, y becomes 13 because the sum has to add up to 25. Okay, so therefore max product is 12 times 13. That's 156. And this is a very nice thing. I mean, I'm sure some of you could have guessed that what times what is the highest product. But this picture is very, very convincing, right? It tells you clearly that's the highest product. And because I had to pick integers, I had to pick something right beside it. The picture tells you without any guessing. So if I gave this to a grade 8 student or a 9 student, he's really smart, he might be able to do it. But it would have been some guess and try and error, right? You pick like 11, 12, and 13, you pick. But here, you don't have to pick. You look at the picture, and it tells you exactly what you should pick. If you know how to interpret the data, if you know how to interpret this parabola.